What's been a favorite memory for you so far in this medicine stuff? Something you've really enjoyed?
Well, I think seeing the old 97s was really cool. I've always been a big fan of theirs, and I've gotten to open for them many times before, but I don't get to see them as often as some of the other guys that are on this festival. So we pulled in a night early and came to see their show. It was real cool. Brett came up and right after we got off stage, saw my Ranger shirt and recognized me, and we're both big Rangers fans, so we just came up and talked baseball, and that was real fun. Yesterday, my guitar player had canceled on me. He was supposed to be here at noon yesterday, and we were playing at 1:45. And so yesterday, I wake up to a text from him saying I'm not going to be able to make it, and I kind of went, well, fuck you. And then Cody Angel from Boland's band, he came and sat in and killed it. And then at the last minute, my old buddy Mike McClure said, hey, I can sit in too. And so he came up and played lead acoustic guitar, and we got to have a bunch of fun on stage and make a bunch of jokes and rip on each other like it was old times. So that was a lot of fun.
McClure's peers with some older guys, a lot older than you, and you call him your old buddy.
As he put it yesterday, he said, well, that was a song that Jonny wrote when he was 11, when I found him living out behind a dumpster behind a bar. And I said, well, actually, the true story is I was 16 when you found me, and I actually was living behind a bar. So, we were hanging around before I'd even graduated high school. I mean, he was my first band's first producer, and we used to run around a whole bunch, so.
From talking to you before, you kind of cleared your schedule to be here the whole weekend, even when you're not playing.
Yeah, definitely. That's, like I said, why we got here on the first night, so we could see the music and just wake up and play our show yesterday and hang out all day. And looking forward to playing the main stage today and then hanging out all night. So it's just been so proud of all these guys for putting this thing on. Turnpike Troubadours, Jason Boland, the Stragglers, everybody that puts it on, thank you. Just doing a hell of a job.
Tell me about New Braunfels and growing up there, spending time there, and who coached you, mentored you, who influenced you just directly or indirectly. I mean, that's a famous place.
Yeah, it was real cool growing up there. I was a river rat. Grew up on the river and did about every kind of job you can working on the Guadalupe, so I was used to just that scene of being around there. And then a lot of people moved there when I was in high school. That's how I met Boland and Code Canada and all those guys when they moved down to New Braunfels from Oklahoma. So I've always had a strong Oklahoma connection because I was always the kid in high school that was hanging around them when they were kind of first coming up on the big Texas scene. And my dad grew up playing in bars, and so it was very natural for me. Not really the biggest guy in the world, and so football was kind of not an option. I played football until I first started playing in bars, because how else are you going to get girls in Texas? And I wasn't on the starting football team, so I went down to the local bar, started playing the local happy hour when I was 15 years old. Went to school the next day with a big old sweaty wad of tip jar money, and there was hot bartenders there and stuff, and it was like, well, this is what my life's planned out from here. All good. If I can do this every night, then cool.
Us being Red Dirt Nation, one of our big things is just this is more of a community of artists than it is a genre, a particular sound.
Yep.
We kind of think of it as being from this northeast Oklahoma over to Stillwater and sort of triangulate down all the way down to your hometown, New Braunfels. You talked about all the people that had moved there when you were in high school, and many of them being Okies.
Yeah.
Brandon Jenkins and Boland and Cody Canada and folks that have all moved down there. Now you're somebody from there that's kind of moving up this direction to market yourself. I mean, how do you feel about looking at that as a community rather than a genre?
Well, you know, it's something where I don't really see that much difference. I mean, it's just, hell, the Red River's just a river. I don't really think of places in terms of borders. And you know, me and Evan Felker talk probably 2 or 3 times a week and work on songs all the time. It's like I'm playing the Wormy Dog here next weekend, you know, first time to headline it on my own. And I'm so used to coming up this direction, I feel like it's as much a part of home as you know, say I'm not from West Texas, so if I go out to West Texas, it feels just as comfortable coming here as it does. I don't really think of it in terms of a Texas versus Oklahoma thing. You know, I've played every state in the continental U.S., and I'll tell you, it's just borders. You know, I don't think of them in terms of that. I just think of more of the relationships I have with people in those different places. And there's so many good people that are from up here, and such an amazing scene that these guys all came from, you know, that was started by guys like Tom Skinner and people like that. And, you know, just proud to know everybody and be included in it.
Did you get to spend much time with Skinner?
I did, just because I knew McClure so well, and when he started playing with Mike, it was just kind of instant. That guy formed just instant camaraderie when you were around him, just made you feel so comfortable and included in everything.
Tell me maybe about some figures in New Braunfels area that served that kind of mentorship role for you or others down there.
My main mentor over the past, since I was in high school too, was James McMurtry, who, when I say I've gotten to play every state in the continental U.S., is mainly because of James. He's just kind of kept me as a constant opening act when he goes on his long tours since I was 19, you know, and he was one of my favorite songwriters long before that. And I just like to say I'm about to turn 30, and what have I done with my 20s? Mostly spinning on the road opening for James McMurtry, which has been probably the best learning experience as a songwriter that you can get, because he's just been the best guy to me. And he, you know, every night, whether we're in Rhode Island or Wyoming or Florida or something like that, I could see a show 20 nights in a row, and I'll go see it on the 21st night too. Stick around for every song, because he's been one of my favorites and for so long, but he's also just been such a great mentor. That's meant a lot to me, and I've learned a lot from him.
Troubadours were just in here. Of course, Evan was talking about working with you, and others throughout the weekend that we've talked to maybe mentioned you and working with you. Is there anything that's not top secret that you can tell us about, something that somebody you've been writing with or collaborating with that's going to be in the next few months come out? Maybe we haven't heard the announcement.
You know, not really. I have been talking to a couple of the guys from American Aquarium right now, who we're planning on going up to North Carolina and going in the studio with them, with Whit and Ryan. Whit will be playing pedal steel with me today, and they've just started a studio up there, and bringing my band up there to record all these new songs that I have. Most of the people I write with are people that I'm very close to. You know, I've tried for very long to be open to writing with anybody, but it's usually somebody that I'm real close friends with, like Evan, where it makes it so much easier for us, where, you know, we can call bullshit on each other's stuff. We can tell each other, no, that line sucks. Because if you're trying to be polite, songwriting's not you shouldn't be polite doing it, you know. You should be able to be close enough to somebody to scrap something and say, hey, you're not fucking up my song with these lines. And then if you really genuinely like what's going on with the songs you're collaborating on, it's a very special thing. So it's usually only people I'm very close to that I'll share songs with and do the same in return.
What's next for your own personal projects?
It's mainly just that studio time I was talking about in December. So hopefully have something out next year. Until then, we're just kind of booked up all over. Keep the band working.